Good morning, my name is Justin Koch, and I'll be presenting the Heidi Roizen case for West Texas A&M University, the MBA program. I'd like to begin with the why I think this case was assigned and why I think it's so interesting. In a lot of the cases we read, you have characters that are kind of all over the board and not consistent, and you don't really get to know who they are and their personality. Heidi is not anything like that, and I think that's why this was assigned. She's the same person through the whole case, and she's very easy to get a handle on who she is and what she does. And that's different from a lot of both cases I've read and folks I know personally. And so I'd like to start with her strengths. I think her number one strength is her personality, and by personality I mean the fact that she puts others first. When you read through there, Heidi's the kind of person that I just genuinely like to know, as both personally and professionally. She seems unbelievably intelligent, but she also really cares about others. And so in her early career, before I start, the way I went through this case is I got three different highlighters. I got a yellow, a green, and a blue. And at the time I did it, I didn't realize that that was significant, but it turned out to be. Sometimes luck plays into things, I think. So when I started the case, I highlighted all the things she did in her early career, or throughout her career, as either networking, yellow, influence, blue, or power, green. And in the early years of her career, I noticed that basically all the pages are yellow. And as time goes on, there's some yellow and blue. And then as you get toward the end of her career, it's mostly blue and green. So she has influence and power toward the end. I think when you start in the beginning, the thing that gave her the most strength is she was natural at building relationships. She found commonalities between people. There was, reciprocity. She genuinely liked others and found common ground. She was consistent in her relationships, and she tried to make a difference in other people's lives. As time went on, it was less about getting to know people. She was keeping the relationships that she had built. She still did some of that when the opportunity presented itself, but more often than not, she was using the relationships she had to create influence with others. And, she was looking at lots of business plans, and she was making recommendations, and making introductions, and taking care of that. And then toward the end of her career, I think that it's really interesting that all of that boiled down to power. She got to choose who she helped and why. And not only that, she had so much power to be able to say, in this situation, I know that's the person you'd really like to work with. I don't think that's a good fit for this person. But let me tell you, I think over here you could be mutually beneficial to someone else. And so I think that was really neat to see. I think that Heidi is deep down a giver. She really wants to find the best for other people and put that together. And even if that doesn't benefit her, she's good with that because she knows she's doing something right for others. I don't think she ever wavered in that. I never saw her take a situation where it was better for herself. I never really saw her as a matcher. I think she was a giver throughout. As a man, it's hard for me to put myself in her situation as a woman and how to play high and to play low in the situations that she was in. But I did notice in her early career she tended to play more low. And later in her career she was very comfortable saying, I understand you're an important friend to me, but I have 20 other important friends that are ahead of you. And so I can't make another hour for you this week. I think that's neat to see, and for a woman to be able to make that transition, I think that's a must for her to be successful, and she did that great. In summation, I think that I can say that she really did a good job of hammering down who was the most important in her life, who could make a difference, and who could make a difference in the lives of others. So she found those brokers, and she really stayed close to them. I noticed that toward the end she seemed a little bit overwhelmed with her own network. And so one of the things that I think she did that was right is she found those people that were the connectors and she stayed connected to them. That's not to say she wouldn't go down and meet with somebody else, but she stayed connected. I think that in closing, I would follow Heidi knowing what I know about her and what she said, I would feel like she did it for me. So if she said, Justin, I think you should do this, I'm probably going to do what she wants me to do because I think she's got my best interest at heart. And so I would kind of equate that to, you know, the Paul Revere's ride versus William Dawes. Why was Paul Revere so successful and William Dawes carried the same message and wasn't? And I think the answer to that is really clear. I think that she had the best interest of others at heart, and so did Paul Revere. Nobody really understood that about William Dawes. And so I would follow Heidi. Thank you so much for your time.